Tonight, inshallah, very short speech. I'm not going to take too much of your time, but I think it was 2 weeks ago that we said we're not going to take so much of your time, and I was talking for 1 hour. So now you prepare yourself. Inshallah, it's not like that, but no, there were lots of questions that week. But so the topic that we chose for today is about dunya. It's about dunya, about this life. What's the haqiqah? What's the truth about this life? There's so much to talk about. Okay, this week, inshallah, would be like an introduction. This week, inshallah, would be an introduction to this topic. It's a very vast topic, and perhaps it's one of the topics I should choose for 10 nights of Muharram. You know, it's like 10, 11 nights. You should talk about it every night because there's so much to talk about. And that's interesting because, you know, most of people, if you say that to them, then they may say, look, doesn't sound like that your religion cares about dunya so much, and you want to talk about it 10, 11 nights, you know, and talk about something that, because every of these topics that we talk about is like a book, you know, it becomes like 11 lectures, becomes like a book. So is dunya something we should talk about it, first of all, and how much we should talk about it? And what's the truth about it? This is the very important part. The truth about this dunya is the one that makes you be here. The truth, if you understand, and you have, I'm sure you all know. However, sometimes you have to talk about what you know to understand it better. But the reason that you are here and you are not somewhere else, and the others that are the other places that they're not here, it's because the truth about this dunya for them means something else, or they did not understand it. In our life, there are 3 factors that we are, you know, challenging with them in our life. 3 challenging factors. If these 3 challenging factors were not there, we could all live without any fights. We could all live in peace. There wouldn't be any fights, any wars, any taking others' right, any lying, cheating, fraud, nothing. 3 factors. Those 3 factors, I say the first one and you say the other 2. The first one is dunya. Okay? What are the other 2 that are affecting us? No. In this world, in this life, there are 3 factors that they are affecting us in a negative way. They're affecting us in a way that if we want to go straight, so like if I say, for example, you want to drive, I may say, look, there are few factors that for your driving, it would cause problem. One of them is, for example, your car. The other one is the road, is the quality of, for example, the weather, if it's rainy or not raining, is the type of road that you're driving. Yeah, is it going, for example, straight or not, turning a lot? Lots of things can affect your driving. In a nutshell, 3 factors can affect our movement in this life. Remember, once we talked about this, we said, if you want to know what is our role in this world, and I gave multiple choice question. Remember this? I said, what is our role in this world? If I say we are managers in this life, we are drivers in this life, we are fighters in this life, or we are lovers in this life. 4 multiple choice question. And remember, I've given this before. Maybe you don't. Alhamdulillah, nobody remembers. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. The luckiest moment for a lecturer is when people don't remember what he has already said. So he can say again and again. Who cares? Now, you tell me, multiple choice, 4 options. In this life, what would you call out yourself? What would you call a human in this life? A manager, a driver, a fighter, or a lover? Which one, if you want to choose one? It's Qur'ani. It's Qur'an. A fighter? Any other opinion? Manager? What's the ayah? What's the ayah? أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ? No, that's the tadabbur fil Quran means tafakkur, means tafkir, means thinking. Yeah. What is it about? What do you want to say? Is what? Khalifa? Leaders? What? وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً وَنَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ وَنُرِيدُ أَن نَمُنَّ عَلَى الَّذِينَ اسْتُضْعِفُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. That one? ملائكة إني جعل في الأرض خليفة. Okay. But which answer is after these four? Manager? Khalifa means manager. Okay, fine. Fine. If Khalifa means manager, it's fine. Okay. Allah Ta'ala says, يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك كدحا فالملاقيه. كادح means a driver. Is a driver. Well, no, kadih in this means that you move. Kadih means somebody is moving towards. Yes, of course, on your way, you may need to fight. Yes. You may need to, because you could be a fighter but stay in your place. You could be a fighter but stay in your place. You could be a driver but manager as well, because you need to manage your driving. You could be a driver and you love your target, love where you're going. Because of that love in your heart, you're putting your foot on the accelerator and braking and going. So we are drivers. In this life, we are driving. We're always moving all the time. Now, what we were saying at the start, we are saying that in this world, when we are driving, one of the factors that affects us is dunya. حب الدنيا. Love of dunya. Yeah? حب الدنيا رأس كل خطية. That's the hadith, for example. And different lots of hadith about it. Now, what are the other twos that affect us? Ladha. Okay, that's good. That's the better word for it is hawa. Hawa huna, hawa shahwa. It could be anything. It could be anything in this world. So basically, dunya is that way. Hawa is this way. Dunya is coming towards us, and we are going towards. Dunya becomes hawa. Hawa is from inside, in our heart. Dunya from outside, presenting to us. So these two factors. And what's the third one? That's nafs. Nafs is hawa. Hawa is from nafs. That's it. The shahwa. What's the third one? Everybody knows that. Shaitan, ahsan. Shaitan is a third factor. Three factors. That these factors are affecting us in this life. You take these three factors away, everybody would be good. You become angels. Yes, that's right. You become like angels. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. If we don't have these three factors, we become like angels. Nobody fights. Angels don't fight with each other. Nobody is jealous of the other one. Nobody takes the other one's right. Nobody's fighting with somebody else. Nothing. So now we're talking about one of those factors, which is called dunya. Now, the important thing is that we talked about something a couple of weeks ago, or was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I can't remember. We talked about something which was a different topic. You remember we talked about the story of Musa alayhi salam and his stick turning to a snake, or that big, whatever monster you want to call it. Yeah? Hayyatan tas'a. This was moving very fast. Remember the story? We talked about Musa alayhi salam and his cane. Yes, was there. But I think we talked about it here as well, didn't we? We said something about it here as well. Now, that was something we referred to the haqiqah, the truth about things. We said, look, you see this turba, you see piece of stone, piece of clay that is a mud that has been dried up. Yes? Do you see if this turba is from Karbala? Do you see shifa in this? You don't see any shifa in this. Do you see blood in this? On the day of Dhuhr of Ashura and the day of Ashura, with blood comes out from the real turba of Karbala. Will you see it? You don't. What is turning? The cane. You're seeing the cane. You don't see the snake. Musa alayhi salam in the first instant just saw the cane. Allah Ta'ala says, وَمَا تِلْكَ بِيَمِينِكَ يَا Musa? What's that in your right hand? قَالَ هِيَ عَصَايَ. This is my cane. He didn't think about this could be something else. And we said, based on what one of the ulama says, Ayatollah Jawadi al-Amali, he says, beautiful thing here in his tafsir. He says, if Musa was asked about the same question later on, when he went to Tur, when he did all that 14 nights of ibadah and training and Khidr coming and teaching him, all of those, if he was asked after all of that, if he said, what is this? He wouldn't have said, this is my cane. He would have said, whatever you say, Ya Allah. You say what it is. You want it, it becomes snake. This is what you want. So the haqiqah of things is very important. So this dunya, now go back to the same question. What is dunya? If you got ma'rifah, if you got recognition of what's going on in this world, if somebody says, what is ma'rifah, what is the dunya, what is the truth about dunya, what would you say? Whatever Allah wants. Whatever Allah wants. So this dunya can be monster, can be a cane that you hold and you lean on it. You can use it, you can be useful, or it can be something coming against you, can be pro you, helping you. So the issue about dunya is how we deal with it, what we understand from dunya. As long as you don't understand what dunya is, it can be anything. You know, in our riwayat, especially Amirul Mu'mineen Ali alayhi salam, nobody has talked about dunya more than Amirul Mu'mineen Ali alayhi salam. Anyway, all riwayat, if you go through it, nobody has spoken about dunya more than Imam Ali alayhi salam. And he has mentioned lots of bad thing about dunya and lots of good thing about dunya. Both ways. And that's very interesting, because if I come and today I talk about something as something good, and tomorrow you come and say the same thing as something bad, then you get confused. Bad or good? Make it clear. But you've got to pay attention to what Imam alayhi salam referring when he says it's good, what he's saying which way, and what's bad in which way. Now, dunya itself has no sin. It's nothing bad. Dunya in the next world, some people come and say, oh, some people curse dunya in this. We've got hadith, somebody was cursing dunya. Oh, dunya, you're so bad. And we got this in the same hadith from Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, and we got the same incident with Amir al-Mu'min Ali alayhi salam. Both of them happened. And Imam alayhi salam, in the same way, the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told him, why are you cursing dunya? Why are you thinking that dunya is guilty? Dunya hasn't done anything bad to you. It's about how you use dunya. You're the one who abuses dunya. In fact, dunya will complain about us. Yeah? Dunya will complain about us, not us being able to complain about dunya. Because in akhirah, what are the things in akhirah? This is an interesting topic. One day maybe we should talk about this one as well. What are the things in akhirah will complain about us? See some of them, if you remember. In akhirah, certain things will complain about us. What are those things? Yes. Quran and masjid, that's right. They're very good. 2 points, yeah. Body, yes, our own body. Our hands, our legs, our tongue. They will complain us. Why did you commit sin with me? You know, you want to complain about them all. You can't say it was my hand who did it. The hand says, I was made to do good things. Why did you do bad things with me? What else? Dunya, yeah, but dunya, these are part of dunya. Dunya, yeah, that's right. What else? Yeah, he said Quran first, yes. What else? Earth, that's right. تحدث أخبارها, yeah. بأن ربك أوحى. They start complaining. And we got the earth, the place that you had and you did not do the right thing in. Somebody does a sin on a piece of land, that piece of land will complain. Why did you commit sin on me? Allah didn't make me for that. Okay, there are lots of things. If you want to mention something else, you want to say? Animals, yes, like they could. Wuhush, yeah. Sorry, say again. Yes, I know. That's what I'm saying. That place will complain. In the next, as I'm saying, so that you would do. I'm not saying you can do it without that. I'm saying in the next world, that's the hadith. That's the hadith. Allah Rasulullah says, if you want to commit sin, find somewhere. This is from Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam and Rasulullah said, find somewhere that nobody can see you, that Allah cannot see you. Go somewhere that Allah's power is not on you. Then commit sin. That's true. Which means that you're not going to do it. That's why you're ma'asum, alhamdulillah. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. So, dunya has lots of good things. Because this dunya is the tool, is the means for lots of things. No, nobody should really complain like saying knife is such a bad thing. Depends what you want to do with a knife. But what's the problem? Why would you say somebody's using knife? Why would you say this person is doing the wrong thing with a knife? Apart from, of course, not using it in the right place. That's one of them. I said the hard one. You say the easy one. First one is, I say from the end I start, that knife is for cutting, for example, food and fruits and all that, and using it for the right purpose, and somebody uses that for hurting others. Bad usage of knife. Yes? What is the other problem before that first stage? What is the first problem if somebody is using knife and you say to him, this is not how you should use the knife? You should know, that's right. Of course, you need to have the, but how would you know this person? One of the problems is that sometimes misjudge. So, that's right. Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah. I'll tell you something about that which is very similar to dunya. You go somewhere and they put food in front of you or fruit in front of you. Let's say fruit in front of you with knife in the plate to cut the fruit and eat. Try this. Like if you've been somewhere today, or you had fruit today or yesterday, think about it. Do you remember that knife? You went somebody else's house. What was the color of that? The handle of the knife. Yeah. Do you remember? Do you remember the color? You don't remember. If you sit somewhere, like, in the old time, for fruit, there were most of these knives. The knives had a different color, like yellow, red, orange, whatever. Yeah. If you go somewhere and they've got different colors, and they put different ones randomly in front of you, you go, you eat food, you finish your fruit, and you go home. Somebody says to you, what was the color of your knife? You won't remember. You wouldn't remember. Because you remember, unless by chance you remembered. Yeah, by chance. Somebody said something or whatever. But in a normal day, you wouldn't remember. Why? Because who cares? Who cares what was the handle's color? That's not what you cared. You cared about if the knife was doing the job. If we were using it for cutting the fruit. If it was good or not. That's what you cared. Zulaykha. Yeah, that's what happened. So there they cut their fingers. That's another thing. That's similar to that. Now, if you started paying attention while you are cutting the fruit, if you started paying attention to the color of the handle, cutting the fruit, oh, look at the handle, and you cut your finger with it. Yeah, you get distracted. In Quran, it says there's one problem with dunya. One of the problems is what? They get gharrathum dunya. They get deceived by dunya. Gharrathum dunya. These people, they get deceived. Why? Because dunya was the tool, was the knife. You were not supposed to get the knife and start thinking about the color of the handle. You were supposed to use it and move on. So sometimes we pay attention to actual dunya itself, and we get baffled by that, and we start worshiping that and praising that, and we forget that this was the tool for something else. It was the means for something else. If we use that, then we'll be fine. Imam Ali alayhi salam. Yes? You tell me, working in this world, is it dunya or not? It's dunya, of course. Working is dunya. Making money, is it dunya or not? Imam Ali alayhi salam was working hard in this world. Digging and planting and making or finding a well. Going digging. One of the jobs, I'm sure it's the same in many countries. If they want to say it's a very hard job and low job, difficult job, they say digging a well, finding water. It's a very hard job. So Imam alayhi salam was doing that job. Imagine imam that is ma'soom, imam that is the leader of the society, imam that is the khalifa of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That imam is down the hole digging the ground to find water. Okay, so he was doing this. He started digging so many places, and he made this, basically created the well, which would make a big area prosperous and full of water and being able to have farming. Yeah. The moment he finished, they say that Imam alayhi salam had not finished totally, because had not, for example, the sweat is still on his face, had not cleaned himself. He just finished, reached water. The moment he reached water, he said, bring a paper and pen. And he wrote, this is donated to this person. Donated to somebody else. Right there. Right there. Just finish the work, If we, I tidy up a room, we say, oh, kids, don't go. I just tidied it up, Don't you say that? We take kids, I just cleaned the room. Don't make it dirty. You feel like, you've done something. You want to see your efforts being enjoying that. Instead of that, Imam alayhi salam quickly gives it to somebody else. He dug so many of these wells that they started actually connecting. One of the blessings that Imam alayhi salam created in that area that he lived in Iraq is that the water started connecting. And that's because of that as a very large area became full of water, and all these trees become prosperous and full of fruit. And the palms and all that, yeah? The dates, what's the biggest, one of the biggest in the world? What's the biggest exporter of dates? Iraq. Yes? Who did it? Imam Ali alayhi salam. In fact, they say still exists. I'm not sure where that is, but they said there's still the water that the Imam alayhi salam created, that connection still exists. And they know it. In Kufa. That's right. So, Imam alayhi salam is working for dunya. Yeah. With this, some people come out of this picture, and I'll leave it for that because too much information for one session. Some people come out of this picture. The person who does not work, is it in this picture or not? No. If you're not working, doing nothing, some people say, I don't do anything. I don't care about dunya. Nah. If you don't work, you're not the one that Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam is the one who didn't care about dunya at all. Yes? You've got all these words. I don't want to talk about it takes a lot of time that how Imam alayhi salam, inshallah, another time. But ghori ghairi, that's right. So go and find somebody else and all the things that Imam alayhi salam said. Ad-dunya sijnul mu'min. So all of the things that Imam alayhi salam says negative about dunya, at the same time, Imam alayhi salam is working in dunya, enjoying dunya, getting pleasure from dunya. Yes? Sorry? Time. Imam alayhi salam, after Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, for 25 years, he could not do anything but working on the lands. Because if he said anything, there would have been a war. Sorry? 25 years after Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Imam alayhi salam was not effective in the Khilafah. Imam alayhi salam could not take part in any of them. Did not approve them. The first three Khalifas, the Khulafa, they were ruling and they were doing their own things. Imam alayhi salam could sometimes say a word, like he gave advice to Uthman. He said, don't do these things, it's bad for you, and happened. Sometimes Umar came to Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam and asked for advice. Imam alayhi salam gave advice. Said, don't do this, to do this is good or bad. Sometimes it was for judgment. They came to Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam and he did judgment. But that's all. He didn't have a job in the government as a ruler or as somebody that would be effective. Yes, 25 years. That was his main job. 25 years, main job of... Yes. Yes, he did not take part in the wars. No. Writing Quran was the first, not writing Imam Ali alayhi salam. After Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam's demise, he just gathered the Quran that was already available. He brought his version to say, look, I gathered, I know the correct way, and it was based on the tanzil, the way that was revealed. The order wasn't this order. And then they didn't accept it. Anyway, that's a different topic. So, any questions? Not as hard as Hajj Ibrahim's question, but very hard. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil faraj. Other job. We have another job. Ah, yes, that's right. We forgot. We got Sheikh Hassan. Oh, there's another job apart from that. What is it? Oh, we got a meeting. Oh, that's right. Sorry about that. I forgot. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فقلت استغفروا ربكم إنه كان غفارا. I said unto them, ask forgiveness from your Lord, since he is oft forgiving. يرسل السماء عليكم مدرارا. So that he sends bountiful rain unto you in abundance. ويمددكم بأموال وبنين ويجعل لكم جنات ويجعل لكم أنهارا. ويمددكم بأموال وبنين ويجعل لكم جنات ويجعل لكم أنهارا. And give you increase in affluence and offspring, and bestow upon you verdant gardens and rivers. ما لكم لا ترجون لله وقارا. What is the matter with you that you do not believe in divine glory? وقد خلقكم أطوارا. While he has created you in stages. Assalamu alaikum everyone. So we're going to continue our tafsir of Surah Nuh alayhi salam again for the 4th week. Okay. So here in these verses, in these 4 verses, from 5 verses, from verse 10 to 14, we can see it starts off with Nabi Nuh alayhi salam mentioning the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again for the 3rd time in the surah. So, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And this is again, and someone's going to come up to me and say, Hassan, this is the 3rd week you're making this point of rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. 3rd, you've done it last week, you did it the week before. It's good, alhamdulillah. Nabi Nuh alayhi salam did it 3 times in the first 10 verses of the Quran, of 10 verses of the surah. Then it's Sunnat Nuh alayhi salam. Now, so, yeah. So, no. Tafsir, yes. There's a bit of it's an enlightening commentary. Hajj Abbas knows that one, and there's a bit of Tafsir Mizan as well. A bit. Yeah. So, yeah. So what we can see from the surah, from verse 1, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Nabi Nuh alayhi salam from verse 1. Yeah, right from the beginning, the people are going to be punished if they're not, if they don't follow the guidance. Yet we see in the surah all the way to verse 10, he hasn't gone up to his people yet. He hasn't said, you're going to all get punished. How dare you? You're this and you're that. Yeah, and we could also see this is a lesson we could take from this story and also from Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam. There's a narration where Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, he finds 2 adulterers, and then he goes up to him, he starts yelling. And these 2 stories these 2 stories from Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam are gonna connect together. He starts yelling at them and says, "How dare you? What are you doing?" And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he tells Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, yeah, these are my creation. Yeah, go a little softer on them, go a little easier on them. Yeah, don't. Yeah, and then later on, and also again when later on in his life, Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, we see in the Quran when the 2 angels, they're on their way to go to the people of Lut alayhi salam, to destroy the people. Yeah, and Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, he quickly interjects. He starts arguing on their case. Yeah, and he's showing rahmah again. This also shows Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, this will show the prophets they also go through stages as well. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. And these lessons, we should also take them, for example, with children. I know there's a lot of children, yeah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And this lesson from Nabi Nuh alayhi salam, we should also take it to children. There's a lot of children, all they hear, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala barely gets mentioned, but when they do something wrong, oh, don't you remember hell? That's it. That's all the and then this is gonna have an effect. So I don't know anyone, I personally don't know anyone who I've gone up to, and we've all done this, especially when we all first start out with our religious journey. You find someone doing the wrong thing and quickly, hey, music haram, how dare you this? And I'm gonna say from my experience, not one person has ever looked at me so aggressive saying that. I'm saying, mashallah, you're right, I should stop listening to music. You know, Nabi Nuh alayhi salam here he's showing a wisdom in the way he's guiding his people. The next one. Okay, and now in the next 4 verses, we also see now he starts listing to his people the benefits they're going to receive by following this guidance. And now, Sheikh, do you have a microphone? because you might need to interject with this. I don't know, maybe I might go a bit off. Because I noticed something, yeah? Because Nabi Nuh alayhi salam, he starts listing all these ayat about dunya. That's actually going to connect with Sheikh's speak. He starts listing so many ayat and so many benefits to his people about dunya, and they start off with forgiveness. The first verse is forgiveness. And I was thinking, maybe all of them about dunya, even the one about forgiveness. Why? There are people, sometimes when they commit a lot of sins, they know what they're doing is wrong. And they walk around with this guilt. They walk around, it's not nice. And especially sometimes you see some people, they're committing a lot of sins. They're not unhappy. Yeah, they're happy for a few minutes, but then later on you see, look more into their lives. They're very unhappy, very miserable. And so this here, starting off with mentioning forgiveness, if they were to receive guidance and accept it, this would also lift that heaviness on their chest as well. Yeah. Just checking. Okay. Okay.
That goes back to, you remember what we talked about, the maqam al-Rida, the satisfaction is part of it.
And now there's another point we'll go into as well. One more is that a lot of people they have an assumption. For example, let's say with prayers as an example, that they think, some people, they have it in a lot of Muslims especially. They have, like, if I don't pray, I just won't get rewarded. Yeah, they have an assumption that if I don't pray, I just won't get rewarded, but they feel as though they won't be punished for it. Yeah, and here there's a narration. This one's going based off a narration, that narrations that Nabi Nuh alayhi salam, his people, so it's mentioned. So for example, he lists to the people, they'll get bountiful rain, they'll get a lot of offspring, and gardens and rivers. And then what's mentioned in narrations is when they didn't follow the guidance, it's not like they were just left with the same amount that they had before. No, they ended up going through famine. They ended up going through, all the women, there's narrations, they ended up not being able to give birth to children anymore. So they actually, so it's not like there's no middle path with your actions. There will always be either reward or punishment, and you have to make a decision on that. Yeah. And now, and also this asking for forgiveness goes back to, we'll go back to dunya again. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he mentions in narration, he says, do much istighfar and you will attract sustenance and rizq. So that's where it can tie in. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.